Hi and welcome. This is me, Ricky, still plugging away at my Teacher of Teachers certification. And today, this audio is about teaching. And, the little saying I put next to it, little sentence, this one says, "Are you a good witch or a bad witch?" And I think it's one of my favorite parts of the movie Wizard of Oz when the good witch is asking Dorothy, "Are you a good witch or a bad witch?" And that's how I was feeling lately and looking at when it comes to a teacher of God. I've been learning along the way that in the manual for teachers it talks about that a teacher of God, we all teach the same thing. We're all teaching about salvation, awakening, the truth. But how we do it, in what fashion, the people that we reach, it's all different. And from what I understand, it's by design. Once on some level that it's been decided that I've stepped up and decided to be a teacher of God, my students start looking for me, and then my curriculum is decided by my students, actually, by those that I'll be teaching. Anything from being bisexual to being dropped on my head as a kid or anything can all be used as part of the lessons, the way I teach the lesson of awakening. Recently, it came up again, and it's going to keep coming up because that's what I'm here to do, learn. And I'm in a really blessed and precious position to be connected to my teacher, Reverend Devan Jesse Byrne, a lot. So I learn a lot. Recently, it's been about teaching. How do I teach? What do I teach? When do I teach? What does teaching look like? And along the way, I guess I always kind of thought of a teacher as someone that just opened their mouth and wisdom came out or words came out and then people would learn from that. And now I'm coming more to the place of what kind of teacher am I? Am I a quiet teacher? Am I a loud and rough teacher? Stick your face right in it. You're going to get this one way or the other if it kills me, Or am I just going to be, whatever, that kind of a teacher? So I was thinking about it, and I'm not sure. I really kind of feel like I'm an open your mouth and stuff comes out teacher. And then I was challenged. Okay, you open your mouth and stuff comes out. When does stuff come out? Does it come out when it's supposed to come out? Does it come out when you think it's supposed to come out? Does it come out at the right time? Or in the way that it comes out, is it harming other people? Those are really tough questions. And I had to put those tough questions to myself, because I have a tendency to, by God's grace, I have a tendency to many times know the right answer for others. But if they're not asking, then who am I to step up and give them those answers just because I think that it's time? And I had to look deeper. I had to look at why, what makes me think it's just time to give those answers. Just because I have them doesn't mean necessarily that it's the time to give them. That's what I'm learning right now. So I looked at it, and what I came to realize is I have the need to be needed, and because I don't want to be alone, because I don't like rejection and I don't like abandonment. So I figure if if people, um, if I can make them dependent on me, if I can give them the right answers, like the kid in school, the smart kid. If I can give them the right answers, then they'll stick around me because I'm giving them, what they need, and they be, and they become dependent, and in their becoming dependent, then I'm not alone. And I got that one this morning while I was eating my banana nut muffin, and I almost choked on it. Um, I don't. Yes, I want to awaken, and I want to awaken more than anything else in this world. But sometimes the process sucks, and having to have that kind of brutal honesty with myself uh, really hurt. It really hurt because the thoughts and understanding the miracle part that came after uh, showed me that in many ways I've kept people hostage, or I've introduced them to maybe answers they weren't ready for, and that must have been very unpleasant for them, and it was very unkind of me. Now I'm learning the hard part for me is accepting, is is forgiving, is saying, okay, God, I don't know why, but I've been doing this, and I'm really sorry, and please help me to forgive me. Please help me. I am blessed in the Holy Spirit. I am willing to let this go. Please help me. And so realizing that the truth is a wonderful thing, and being able to be steward of it, being able to have access to it is a beautiful gift. But if I'm hurting people with it, then I need to connect more to God and really ask, please help me to know when it's the right time to give the answers. And my teacher is teaching me that the best time to give the answer is when people are asking you the questions. I'm a spiritual advisor. I have been for over 43 years. So the idea of the, the idea of this is in some ways quite different, because for many years people have chosen to need help or whatever, and they set up an appointment with me, and we have a session, and I plug in, and I ask God for those answers for them, and I get them, and I pass them along with love, and I enjoy doing that. It makes me feel closer to God. It makes me feel powerful. It makes me feel, important, like I'm doing something wonderful. And I also, in the process of having that ability to read uh, and being intuitive and help people, it also set up 43 years of precedence. And now it becomes, if they're not asking, then don't tell them. And that's proving to be a little difficult. It's like a light switch that's been on all that time, and now I'm having to learn to shut it off. And also learning and believing that people have a right to their own process, and I don't have to be there as part of their process. Sometimes the right thing, or the right thing for me, is to sit them and watch them struggle with their process. Um, I find that kind of hard too, because I do have a very compassionate and loving heart, and yes, I have other sides too, but in that compassionate place, I don't like to see babies cry and not want to reach out and help them. I When I know something that will help, I want to be able to say, oh, I can help you with that, you know. Um, but I can't help you with that if you're not at the place where you're ready to hear it. I just make people uncomfortable, and I alienate them, which is not what I want to do at all. Take a breath, Ricky. Yeah. Um. So this whole thing, roundabout way of getting there, brought me to teaching, and I found that the kind of teacher I tend to be, uh, past this little hiccup I've discovered, is I tend to be an open and honest one, and I don't know what the right thing is, what the right message is at the right time. I really don't. I just know that I deliver it. Um, Sometimes for healthy reasons, sometimes unhealthy motives. But learning to just live my life knowing I'm a messenger, a teacher, and just trusting in God that when my mouth opens, it will be uh, the right answer at the right time. And sometimes it's not even with my mouth. Sometimes it's just I'm teaching by simple things like saying thank you, or putting away the groceries, or smiling. Sometimes it's saying, let me listen to you for a while. Because that's one of the things I have learned. That's one of the things I do got in this. I'm a good listener. God has allowed me the gift of being able to just sit there and hold sacred space and let others talk, or let out how they're feeling. I just listen. And when I stick to being a good listener, I do very, very well. It's the other part when I open my mouth and answers come out that people aren't ready for, that isn't may not be the best. Um, I'm also learning more to talk to God about it, to just say, okay, I'm doing this, and I don't want to do this anymore. And He helps me learn, and I'm learning to be able to understand things and open up from a place of being like a flute, like a reed, just letting God come through me rather than trying to blow my own notes. You know, that sounds kind of strange. Yes, and I said notes, not nose. That's weird too. Teaching. I I want to be an honest teacher. I want to be a fearless teacher. I think that's one of the qualities um, that is very, very attractive and very, very appealing to me. My my teacher is a fearless teacher. Um, he will go to any lengths to reach the people that he knows he's supposed to reach. I've seen him do it over and over again. And that's the kind of teacher that I want to be. I want to put the purpose, I want to put the desire to bring God's message to those who I'm supposed to bring it to. Above all else, above my confusion, above my convenience, you know. No, I'd rather take a nap. No, I don't feel well. Uh, no, I don't like them. They look funny. Um, and then that just gets pushed aside. I do a big gulp, breathe, release, and then go forward and teach anyway. Um, I do have my students, on the other hand. Those are the ones that have we've kind of got into agreement. with, and I like it. I enjoy teaching. Um, Sometimes I don't know what's coming out, but what comes out apparently is what they're needing at the time. Um, and most often, um, they're teaching me. Um, I see that too. But I think, like I said, being a fearless teacher is right there. Uh, Being a teacher of God, being a teacher of love, being a teacher of honesty, being a teacher of the truth in places that, especially on earth, where it's real hard to find that. And I want to do that. I was designed to do that. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to learn and grow and be. And the most important thing for me to grow and learn and be is myself, is the acceptance of the teacher that God has made me to be. I thank you. Thank you so much for listening, because this is when I know, especially when God's talking to me at 3 and 4 in the morning, telling me I need to do an audio today on this, that I was going to be kind of bouncing stuff off you. And thank you. Thank you. I love you guys, and thanks for hanging in there with me. God bless you, and have a precious, precious day.